Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, Knicks. Welcome back, everybody. I know this is a day later, but NFL Sunday is NFL Sunday. But man, preseason, I understand. Don't overdo it. I understand. Let's not get crazy. Listen, I understand. But 25 years, man, 25 years of mediocrity, poor play, poor management, and all these other narratives that they were pushing on us. We have to enjoy it when we see something good. And last night we saw something good. Okay? Man. So I know a lot of people are talking. So many things to kind of pull away from the game. But once again, I want to keep this in a big 15 minutes. All right? So, oh man, just overall, we look like a legitimate problem for the NBA. Now I know that's no. I'm not apologizing for it. Our team looks deep. Our team looks balanced. Our team looks like we're actually growing our young players. That can't be under that can't be oversold and it can't be underestimated. We actually look like we have a farm system. And there's a nice mesh between the veterans and the young players. But to the game, let me stick to the game. The depth. That was the one thing that kept coming to my mind. The moment we would sit, well, first and foremost, Julius was out today or last night. And the fact that Julius was out, Obi can kind of come in. The fact that we got centers out, we had Taj come in, and it looks like we haven't skipped a beat. Man, you can't overlook that. You cannot overlook that. That depth is going to be helpful, not only through injuries, but through the grind of the season and through the grind of Tibbs' system. Man, multi layers. So when these players started coming in, you know, Obi started. So what I was looking for from Obi was to see if he would build on some of the progress he had in the first game. And what I noticed was his activity. Like Obi was all over the place, bro. Like Obi was literally going for loose balls. You know, the shots that he was taking from three, they didn't look terribly off. It was really good to see. And something that I noticed is Obi looks so much more fluid in his moves. His confidence is off the chain. It's like the game is starting to slow down for him. And this is only year two. Now there was a lot of people who were just like, Obi might be a bust. Oh man, he's not performing up to, the hype, so to speak. That's why he slipped. Why do we get Obi? And my biggest thing is always just let these young players play. And at that time, we didn't have the luxury to be in a position where we could say, "Oh, this is a bust." Nah, man, we need to get as much talent as possible. But Obi looked good. Obi looked confident. He looked fluid. He looked flexible. All right, like what would make me say he looked flexible? You remember when Obi first got playing time with us? It just looked like he was stiff. Like he had tight hips. Um, he wasn't like scrambling to pick up the ball. He had a tough time with that. He just looked tight, but he looks so much. I don't know if he's doing yoga. I think it's the trainer. I know he has a phenomenal trainer, but I don't know whatever it is. He looks more fluid. He looks more flexible, and he looks more confident. So man, like that depth was crazy. So it's great to see him come in. We not skip a beat. All right. Another thing that kind of stood out last night to me was well, obviously you can't overlook the threes. The fact that we had no problem taking 3-point shots and making them. It is absolutely key when you look at Kimba at the point guard position. Man, he's stepping into shots. He is breaking down defenses. His handle is crazy. We're not accustomed to that as Knicks fans at the point guard position. We're not accustomed to that. Not as a starter. So it's that piece is great to see. And Fournier, man, just the level of flexibility he provides for us as an offense. The fact that you can't double down on a particular player because you have to pay attention to him. He has shiftiness. He has fundamentals. I don't know. It's just a calming presence. It doesn't seem like he overwhelms anybody else's game. That's so key. So I'm hyped. I'm hyped, and I think it's more than hype for us right now. People will hop on our social media and tell us, Knicks fans, calm down. That's what they'll say. Knicks fans, calm down. Once again, preseason, y'all getting hyped. Calm down. But you know when we could start getting a little bit hyped about what we see? When you pull that man Kevin Knox off the bench, you dust him off, and you tell him go play. My first video I talked about, man, just feeling like, some players, it takes a while for them to develop, bro. Some players, it just takes time. I was telling my family members and my brothers, I'm like, imagine if at the age of development, we expect from us in real life at the age of 22 to be all-stars and to be great. Nah, man, I was still trying to figure it out at 22. I'm still trying to figure it out now. Okay? But we're expecting Kevin Knox, who has all the tools, but he doesn't have the attitude makeup of a lot of these young stars, like a John Morant or some of these players who, their personalities just mesh with their games. But Kevin stepped up last night. You know what I mean? He looked confident. I believe he has the prettiest jump shot I've seen in a long time. Man, the arc is perfect. I just want him to do well, man. I want to be known as that team that had a player who had a rough start, but you stuck with him, and he developed into a star in the NBA, like a Donovan Mitchell, like a Rudy Gobert, like a James Harden. Yo, just give these players an environment to grow, push them, bring in other young players that are workaholics. Man, with this young team, bro, honestly speaking, I've never seen a young squad work this way. It makes you reevaluate what you're doing in real life, like how hard they are working. You hear that they're there constantly. It's just constant. And these are young players, man. Young players who a lot of young people, just their attention and their focus is usually elsewhere. But these young players are taking their career serious enough. They want to be great. It's really exciting, man. When I was young, it was the 90s Knicks for me. And even the 90s Knicks, when I was following them, most of them were all veterans. The ones that were young were like the Hubert Davises and the Tony Anthony Bonners. You know what I mean? Like, and they ain't never get no burn. But this could be a team where I honestly see those young players, Grimes, and McBride. Man, if we continue how we look, they may be in a situation where they don't get much burn. And honestly, that's what we want. We want we want the players on our team to be good enough that the promising rookies don't see much time in their first year. Man, it is just really good to see, bro. Our ball movement, it looks like we have cohesion early on. Man, it's we're coming. We're coming, man. We're coming. It's no fluke. It's no aberration. We are we're coming, bro. We are coming. Jericho Sims. You kidding me? You kidding me? Jericho mother flipping Sims. Come on, man. Listen, this kid, bro. This kid is our third tier center. If we continue at the pace that we're continuing, then we're going to have the next lineup in place and ready to go by their third year. One thing I noticed, though, is with all this buzz and this excitement Knicks fans have about their team, people are going to pop up and talk, find a way to pick out something negative. We ain't on that. We ain't on that. There is no way you're going to be able to dim our shine. There is no way. We're not on that, and we're not having it. But their biggest thing, I think I was listening to some commentator, and it was just like there was no. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was another platform where the caller came in. He was just like, man, there ain't nobody coming to New York to save us. There ain't no stars that are coming to New York. This, that, and the third. Nobody's coming. So I don't know why the Knicks are kind of, trying to position themselves for a free agent to come save the New York Knicks. There ain't nobody coming. And my biggest thing was I was listening to him and I was just like, you know what, man, that narrative is out there. So I don't blame him for having that take. But the only thing I would say is, honestly speaking, front office knows that. All of these players know that. And these players' attitude is we don't need nobody to come. We're going to build this up and we're going to fix this from the inside out. Julius has actually said that before. And I was kind of surprised where he was just like, yo, I want to be part of bringing this franchise back to where we know it can be. And that's what you want. That's why it was key to go out and get some players who are from New York, because they have this personal connection and investment, and they know what it is to be up. So a lot of the players who are not from New York, they don't have that sense of connection. Julius is absolutely surprising, and I'm happy that he's adopting it. He wants to put New York on his back, like Jada Kiss would say. But that's what we needed. We need players who know it's on us. And if we listen and follow Tibbs, then we could pull this back. And I'm telling you this much. We can't talk enough about the depth of this team. The three-point acumen. The ability to be versatile between positions. These are the very things that frustrated us about the Atlanta Hawks in the playoffs. It wasn't just Trey. It was the fact that they had players who were making shots. Man, Huerter, Bogdanovich, Trey. We couldn't focus on any one of them because all of them were just sniping. And that's what we needed. Not only do we need defenders who are versatile and long enough to be able to disrupt those shots, but we needed shooters as well. And guess what? New York got shooters. So needless to say, I know it's like mad hours beyond the game. It was exciting to watch, man. We led from the beginning. We only kind of gave up the lead, a little bit. But once again, there wasn't that fear or nervousness about losing the game because the players just look composed. They look together. They look more like a team. And we can say what we want about Tibbs and say that he doesn't quit, but that's what we need. These players need to know discipline and the expectations. And they need to know that it equates to winning. And we have a coach who has a track record of it. So I'm ready to ride out. I'm enjoying the content. My fellow Knicks nations continue to shine. I'm hopping off of here and I'm watching some of your content now as well. But let's go, Knicks. Let's go. We here. We ain't going nowhere. And we are up next. Have a great Sunday.